One song on the album called Soon You'll Get Better that I can't even really hear, I can't even listen to it.
She won't talk specifically about her inspiration, but it comes at a time when her mother, Andrea, who was battling cancer, suffered a relapse.
It's really interesting because I don't think I have written a song quite like that before, and it's just sort of like, it's just a tough one.
I can imagine, but I can also tell you, having listened to it, that it's universal.
It's just not something that we deal with until we have to, until we see it, until we experience it, until someone close to us is going through something like that. And so writing about it was really emotional, and I'm just gonna stop talking about it now.
Understandable.
This is, you know what, like, this is fine. I just need to make a better record.
There are times when I feel like with everything that's in my control, I can make myself seem like someone who doesn't have an abnormal life. And I try that every day. Every day it's like, how do I make myself, among my friends and family and my loved ones, not see this big elephant that's in the room for our normal life, because I don't want the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna be in my life, I feel like there's a certain amount that comes with it that I can't stop from happening.
Yeah.
I can't stop from you getting a call in the morning that says, you know, the tabloids are writing this today. I can't help it if there's a guy with a long lens camera 2 miles away with a telescope lens taking pictures of you. I can't stop those things from happening. And so this song was basically like, is it enough? Is the stuff that I can control enough to sort of block out the things that I can't?
Yeah.
So it makes me really emotional to hear this song.
You know, it's interesting that in your songs, you're still the outsider. With all the success.
Yeah, my mom talks to me a lot about that, because I think you kind of get set in how you feel when you're in school. Like, I could be sitting in the front row at an award show and I still don't feel like a cool kid. Like,
To this day. And
Like
you are the
ever.
cool kid now.
Most days I'm like, okay, but then sometimes I'm just like, it just gets loud sometimes.
she got cancer several years ago. That has been really hard for me because she's my favorite person.
Is your life at all normal?
No,
No.
not at all.
What's the most abnormal?
The most abnormal thing about my life is having sort of crowds form everywhere you go. And just everywhere. So that starts happening, and then you have to take security everywhere you go. All of a sudden, you realize that you have not been alone, truly, for 5 years.
I'm supposed to ring, but I don't want to. I don't want to.
Okay, all right.
This makes me feel so bad about myself. Every time I come up here, you put like a different dude up there on the screen. There's never been 2 guys on the screen 2 visits in a row. It's sad.
I try not to ever really say where I am the most, because since all my addresses are on the internet, people tend to show up uninvited. Like, you know, dudes that think we have an imaginary marriage.
You mentioned that you keep wound dressing with you?
Yeah, I've had a lot of stalkers show up to the house armed. So we have to think that way.
I've been thinking about addiction, and I've been thinking about people who, if they're either suffering through mental illness or they're suffering through addiction, or they have an everyday struggle. No one pats them on the back every day, but every day they are actively fighting something. But there are so many days that nobody gives them credit for that.
Yeah.
And so how often must somebody who's in that sort of internal struggle must want to say to everyone in the room, you have no idea how close I am to going back to a dark place, or you have no idea.
You have no idea how hard it is to get to the point where you guys think is still shitty.
Yes, and then the second verse is about, you know, someone who felt like they had a lot of potential in their life. I think there are a lot of mechanisms for us in our school days, in high school or college, to excel and to be patted on the back for something. And then I think a lot of people get out of school and there are less abilities for them to get gold stars.
Yeah.
And then you have to make all these decisions, and you have to pave your own way, and there's no set class course you can take, and and I think a lot of people feel really swept up in that. And so I was thinking about this person who is really lost in life and then starts drinking, and every second is trying not to.
Yeah.